but I'm saying you have a responsibility to challenge the health system. So the success of this particular exercise in this area and in all the areas in which we're placing health centers, to me, will be determined by the number of people that utilize the health centers, one, and the way in which those health centers are utilized in changing people's mindset and improving people's quality of life. And I want to suggest to you that there's an aspect about the health centers that we tend to underrate. And that is, how do we inform and sensitize people? People in Tobago, and I make no apologies for saying that, are not taking care of their health. Too many of us are losing legs. Too many of us are suffering with hypertension. Too many of us, with all due respect, are too fat. When you use the word obese, we're too fat. Too many of us are playing with our lives. And that is not just about the health center, it is about you. And I'm saying to you that if we do not find a way by which we could sensitize people, I want to see more people exercising in a health center than coming for hypertension medicine. I want to see more people coming to get diet sheets than to get pills for diabetes. That is the kind of thing I want to see, because there's an aspect about healthcare delivery that is about keeping people healthy rather than about healing people who are sick. And until we understand that as Tobagonians, there's no reason why you can't walk in this health center and ask the doctor or the nurse or whoever, how do I ensure that the level of health that I enjoy now, that I could ensure that I maintain that over a particular period. And I want to just say, and I don't want to be too long, but there are a couple of things I want to say before I sit. It's the whole question about the environment in which we operate. And we have to make a choice, a decision, as to how we in Tobago intend to operate with our institutions and our people. I am suggesting that every individual who works for the Tobago House of Assembly must be subjected to criticism, to scrutiny by the people of Tobago. I have absolutely no problem with that. But the people of Tobago have to make a decision about the kind of relationship that must exist between them and the people who work for them, from politicians right down. And we have got to ask ourselves whether we want to nurture an environment of conflict or an environment of collaboration. We want to ask ourselves whether we want to nurture an environment that can engender mutual confidence, or in effect initiate the kind of unbridled criticism that places people on the defensive and does not allow for the kind of conversations and the kind of communication that will lead to the resolution of issues. That is what we got to do. And therefore, there is nothing wrong with you coming into the clinic and tell the doctor, look, doc, I find when we come to talk, you doesn't talk to us properly, because people complain. People complain that some doctors do that. Go and talk to the doctor as a human being. If there is something that is wrong, I don't care if you go and talk, call into Tamrin or call into Channel 5, but come and talk to the person responsible also. Let the conversation be at all levels. Talk to one another rather than talking at each other or around each other. That is the way you have a situation where you resolve conflict and you put pressure on people. I am suggesting too that we do not generalize and we do not use headlines to judge a whole category of workers and to judge an entire system. Too often we use headlines to judge a whole category of workers and condemn a whole group of people, including those who work hard, including those who work reasonably well, and including those who don't work sufficiently well. We just generalize and categorize. I have been a teacher. I have a sister who is a nurse. I have a wife who is a teacher. At my age, I just had to go doctor. And I'm saying that the majority of doctors and nurses are professionals who are committed to the service of the people of Tobago, and we got to understand that. And we can't go about bad-mouthing a whole category of workers, because there are and there are nurses and doctors who we have to treat with. Nothing wrong with that. But don't categorize everybody. Don't allow headlines. You have a headline, and then all of us jump on the headline without even asking ourselves, does it make sense? Is it right? Don't get me wrong. Whether it's 2.1 or 1.6 or 1, we have to strive to do better. We have to examine what are we doing wrong or what are we not doing right enough. But let us not be in the mindset to believe that because it's Tobago, it means that anything said about Tobago is right. Anything bad said about Tobago is good and right. When the facts come out, we recognize Tobago might not be doing as well as it should, but in the context of Trinidad and Tobago, it ain't doing so bad after all. Too many of us. Too many of us, Tobagonians. I don't mind if Trinidadians do it, you know. But when Tobagonians jump on a bandwagon to denigrate Tobagonians, it is time for us to ask ourselves what we're doing. Time for us to ask ourselves that. Because the first thing you just do when they attack your family, the first response is to defend. Tobago is one of the places where some of us feel once you say Tobago, the first response is to join in attacking. We had to change that. Don't get me wrong. There are things we got to change. But the first thing we got to change is our attitude to one another. And therefore, as I conclude, I want to make it very clear that I understand the challenges facing the health sector. I recognize that we've all got to get very introspective, and we all got to take hard decisions and tough decisions, because people's lives are nothing to play with. And as Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, I take that responsibility, that if tough decisions are going to be taken, they are going to be taken. But progress and development is a process. And therefore, in evaluating where we are, we got to understand where we came from. We got to understand that we have come a long way, that there's a long way to go, and that there are some positives. And this is one of them. And Charlottesville, that is going to be open in a couple of months, is one of them. And Scarborough is one of them. And Bonaccord is one of them. And the quality of our nurses and our doctors, the majority of them, is one of them. All of those are positives, and we got to build on that. So we must be pragmatic. We must be very clear. But finally, I am appealing to you, the people of Roxborough and environs, and the people of Tobago. All nurses are bad. In fact, most of them very good. All doctors are bad. In fact, most of them very good. All nursing assistants and EMT people not bad. In fact, most of them very good compared to any in the world. And I'm saying, do we a favor now? Sometimes, you know, when you're calling in, those of you who get good treatment, you call in too. How many people you treat in the EMA, in the accident emergency? 35,000. 35,000 pass through accident and emergency. Oh God, you want to tell me 5 of them couldn't call in sometime? I say, well, I get good treatment. But it is in nature, because the 5 who ain't get good treatment have a right to call in because we want to improve. But I'm saying let us balance the thing. And don't send a signal that things are that bad. So let me, as I conclude, say congratulations to all of those who would have contributed to this particular exercise. Congratulations to all of those who continue to work professionally in ensuring that our delivery of healthcare service continues to improve. I want to reiterate that we in the Tobago House of Assembly are very aware of our shortcomings. and we will strive valiantly to ensure that we minimize those shortcomings. I want you, therefore, to collaborate with us, to recognize that, as in everything else, it is a partnership. We look forward to meaningful and constructive criticism. We look forward to recommendations coming from the community. And as I conclude, I say to the people of Roxborough that this facility is yours to utilize, but more importantly, to evaluate, so that the quality of the service which comes out of this entity, the quality will consistently improve, because you are consistently telling us how to improve it. And with that, I take very great pleasure in saying that this is a good day, but it can be a better day, or better days for the people of Roxborough, if we ensure, as I said very early, that we continue to respond to you, and you continue to respond to our responses in a meaningful way. Have a good day.